All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring a message for the year ahead that's, well, it's a little different. We're going to forget about the usual resolutions and radical changes. Instead, we're looking at the unique invitation of 2026, which is all about something much deeper: inner alignment. So the whole idea for this year kicks off with this simple but pretty powerful thought. For so long, right, the pressure has just been to do more, get more, go faster. But 2026, it starts by asking us to just take a breath and pause that race.
And this is the real key. The focus is shifting from speed to authenticity, from just raw pace to, a profound purpose. It's really an invitation to line up our actions with who we actually are, instead of just moving for the sake of moving.
Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? It means we're being called into a totally new inner cycle, a really fundamental shift in our internal landscape.
Let's be honest, the last few years have been intense. We've all been through a masterclass in survival, haven't we? Learning how to adapt to constant change and just endure a ton of uncertainty. And look, those were absolutely necessary skills.
But here's the thing. The skills that got us here aren't necessarily the ones that are going to carry us forward into a more fulfilling place. This year is offering a change in direction, a path that helps us move beyond just getting by.
And the key to this new direction is alignment. So at its core, what is it? It's that beautiful, harmonious connection between our physical body, our mind, and our deeper awareness. It's that feeling when all the different parts of you are finally moving in the same direction. It's a state of inner wholeness.
So let's break this down, starting with the spiritual part. And just to be clear, this isn't about dogma or rules or performing for anyone. It's about a raw, grounded honesty with yourself. For a moment, this year is asking you to set aside all those external voices, the books, the gurus, the traditions, that are telling you what you should believe is true, and instead to turn inward. What resonates deep down inside you? What feels true in your bones, beyond any logic or explanation? This is all about cultivating a felt sense of your own reality.
And this is exactly why 2026 is the year to really, truly trust your inner compass. Yeah, external wisdom has its place, of course, but the primary source of guidance, it's meant to come from within.
This brings us perfectly to the second pillar, our mental state. Because in a world of just constant information overload, the real invitation is to choose clarity over all that noise.
Our minds aren't just empty hard drives that need to be filled up. This year, the focus is really on creating mental space, on actively choosing to consume less so we can finally process what's already in there.
So why does that space matter so much? Well, because it's in those quiet gaps that we actually integrate our experiences and turn them into real wisdom. It's where the mind finally gets to settle. And crucially, it's where we can finally start to hear that subtle difference between the loud, shouting voice of fear and the quiet whisper of our intuition.
And this is such a good reminder to just forget those grand, sweeping resolutions. It's the small, daily choices, what you read, what you watch, what you listen to, that are going to shape your inner world way more than any single big decision.
Now, this whole idea of conscious attention flows right into our third pillar, the physical body. And the shift here is profound. It's about moving away from seeing our body as just an object that we have to control.
For years, we've been taught to treat our bodies like a project, right? Something to be fixed, perfected, and disciplined. The 2026 invitation is to completely reframe that, to start relating to your body as a living, breathing intelligence that has its own wisdom.
And we can see this shift in our everyday lives. All of a sudden, rest isn't weakness anymore, it's wisdom. Movement isn't a punishment, it's a form of communication. And nutrition, it becomes less about control and so much more about a deep respect for what our body is actually telling us it needs.
And finally, this brings us to the emotional pillar. So if the other areas are about building alignment, this one is all about what we need to let go of to make space for that alignment to happen.
Just think about the roles you had to play to get through tough times. Maybe you were the protector, or the overachiever, or the people pleaser. These were identities we built for survival, but they might not serve you anymore. This year is about allowing them to just gently fall away.
And this process of letting go doesn't require some big, dramatic event. It can be quiet. It can be a gentle release of these old roles without big announcements, without feeling guilty, and without needing to explain yourself to anyone.
So when we bring all of these pillars together, the spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional, what do we get? We find ourselves on a path that leads towards something called coherence. The core action on this path is to choose yourself, and it's so important to understand what this really means. It's not a choice made from ego, and it's not a choice made against others. It is a choice made for your own truth. It's an act of coming into alignment.
Now, this journey, it doesn't promise to always be comfortable. Alignment can be challenging, but the reward is something so much more valuable: coherence. It's that state where your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are all in harmony. And that, right there, that is the true starting point for peace.
So how do you actually do this? Well, it's not about some giant leap. It's simply about taking it moment by moment, one small step at a time, one conscious breath at a time, one aligned choice at a time. That's the entire practice, right there.
And we're going to end with what is maybe the most important message of all. The goal isn't to transform into someone new. The real work is to simply stop abandoning yourself, to stop ignoring your intuition, your body's needs, and your own quiet truth. It's a journey of returning home.
Which leaves all of us with the ultimate question to carry through this year. When you strip away all the noise and the pressure and those old survival patterns, who are you? Who are you when you finally, truly come home to yourself?